All right, guys, I just realized I'm still yet to do my trade recap for the UJ trade I took yesterday. Yeah, I took yesterday morning during Asia session. As you can see here, perfect wick entry. But actually, let me get rid of the drawings real quick so I can draw it out all fresh for you guys to see what was going through my mind when I actually took it. So just turning on the session times here, I do really like this indicator. Like you would have seen me using it before. But regardless, without further ado, let's just get into it. So on my daily outlook, I think it was on Monday. On Monday, I was initially looking at taking a trade from this zone here on Asia session. So I had this one drawn out, but then as you can see, we came down, London failed to come up, New York continued down. So we missed that. However, I was still looking for shorts on UJ and corrected my zone, as you can see here on the hourly, to this zone. Obviously, I didn't end up taking it from this exact zone here, but regardless, we'll refine it as the video goes on. So coming into it, obviously you can see really nice zone formed during London session, came down, London created a little bit more inducement. I was wanting to take it during New York and I had an order set to fill, I think until 3 a.m. I left it until 3 a.m. But obviously you can see here 3 a.m. candle continue down. Then my limit order got cancelled because after 3 a.m. New York PM starts to slow down and then we get this pre-market consolidation. So anyways, let's mark out the session. Actually, no point. We've got the indicator. On the hourly, you can see here, formed a really clean zone. Dropping into the 30-minute, the zone looks even cleaner now, and we can move it to a refined 30-minute. We will continue to refine this as the timeframes go down. But first off, as you can see from the zone, come across clear breaker structure. This is the simplest mechanic that just needs to happen within all of my trades. Anyways, actually, real quick, I'm going to jump up to the higher time frames. We'll jump up to the 2 hour, just so you guys can see the range. We'll jump into the 4 hour, the range we're trading in. Look at UJ. If this isn't clear enough to you, you need to study the market a little bit more. Look, I'm not saying I'm a range supply and demand trader. Sorry, support and resistance trader. I am a supply and demand trader. But look at this range. Price taps, comes back down. Price taps, comes back down. Obviously, it launched here. That was news. Can't do anything about that. After news, oh look, we drop back in. Easy. So drop back into the zone. We come up above the 50% line, above equilibrium of the zone, drop back down, touch the bottom of the zone, come back up, touching the top. You get it, right? And now look where we are. We're at the bottom. We've swept all of this liquidity out. Where do you think we might go from here? You get what I'm saying? So, anyways, dropping back into the 15-minute, well, sorry, dropping into the 15-minute from the 30, you can see clean zone. But now we can refine it a little bit more. That's our 15-minute zone. This is where we took the trade. Regardless, break of structure, as you can see here, London started forming a bit more inducement. Obviously, this is going to look cleaner. Wait, we'll start. We use it thinner here, thinner line. But inducement, more inducement. And this, I don't need to mark this one out, but this little high as well. Same with this. Regardless, you get what I'm saying. So now we've got our zone, break of structure, clear inducement, and that's a lot of liquidity. Those are 3 fake out highs. It really doesn't get much cleaner than that. But regardless, obviously the 5-minute will show this cleaner. Let's see. Yeah, 5-minute highs. Boom, boom, boom. Even this, you could count that, but it was only pre-market that swept it. Anyways, coming into pre-market, we're consolidating. I'm not going to take a trade during pre-market. But as Asia opens, you can see we come up, sweep this, reject it. And that's before hitting our zone, which, what does it mean? More orders are built up. It's as simple as that. Like, let's draw it out to here, London highs. But look, it's come up, swept these 5-minute highs, then the 5-minute rejected. So what do? There's a new line of inducement and order buildups before tapping us in. It's really that simple. The mechanics are so simple to this strategy. Anyone can do it. I promise you, anyone can trade this. As long as you have some understanding of the market you're able to analyze the higher time frames and use time frame synchronization. So all that means is going from the 4 hour to the 2 hour to the 1 hour, 30, 15, so on and so forth, and aligning all of your zones to make sure the trade lines up. An A plus setup, if you find an A plus setup with this strategy and it fails, send me a screenshot. I will find something wrong with it, because an A plus setup with my strategy, I promise you, does not fail. The setups that I find failing are ones where I'm rushing into it. But regardless, look, you can see. Let's just jump to the higher time frames just to show you what this higher time frame analysis is. I don't think the 2 hour doesn't really matter regardless. It's pointless to try and go into that. Anyways, hourly, look, we've got a zone, boom, 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 inducement, inducement, swept, no hourly closed above it, reject, straight back down in our direction. 30-minute, zone formed, boom, 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 break of structure, inducement, inducement, swept, reverse. Same with the 15. Zone formed, we refine down to the 15-minute zone. Also, whilst we're here, I'll go on to the 5-minute. The reason why I didn't take off of this 5-minute zone, or say this 5-minute zone at the top here, to try and refine it more, obviously the order would have missed because price has moved up into it already. It's invalidated it. If you have a wick coming into your zone, like this 5-minute here, the setup, this is not a valid zone. It's not. This could be a valid zone here. That's a valid zone. You would have got tapped in there because no price has actually reached this area. But regardless, we just took it off the 15 because it was way cleaner. Oh, work with me. Here we are. Okay, let's drop into the 5. So this is where I was watching and taking my entry. Obviously, you can see 5-minute comes up, taps us in, close out of the zone. It didn't close a shit ton out of the zone, but we're not closing within the zone. That's all that matters. I was waiting for the 15-minute to close as well, because if the 15-minute were to close in the zone, then we're taking off of a 15-minute zone, it's invalidated. So if price would have closed above my entry here, it's invalidated. But this was really clean. Reverse, it didn't even get to tap me in again on that next 15-minute candle. It just went straight to the fucking floor. Anyways, so I actually used this 5-minute fair value gap here, the bullish one. As soon as this next bullish candle inversed it, let me just hop into replay mode because this makes it like a lot cleaner. So as soon as this candle inversed this fair value gap, I knew like straight away we're just going to launch down. Like as simple as that. So I went to break even here. And after that break even, I had partials down in this little consolidation in pre-market at, like a 1 to 2.7 to a 1 to 3, I think was my partials. And then full TP was down here in line with all of this liquidity. Where was it? It was on these candlesticks here. That was my exit, my full TP. So TP1 was here, TP2 was there. As you can see, inverse the fair value gap. We actually retested it on the next 5-minute candle and just straight bearish movement. Look, you can see the wick forms up into it. Tell me the orders aren't bearish. And what? It was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A 5 candle trade for a 4.4 R&R. It's really that simple. 25 minutes. 25 minutes is all I waited. Honestly, I was really contemplating, because I did zoom out onto I didn't zoom out into the high time frame, the 4-hour, to check this actual zone on UJ, the little, yeah. This zone we're trading in that I just boxed out before, I didn't actually check that on the 4-hour time frame at this stage. So I just thought, all right, 1 to 4, clean as fuck, very good trade for the day. Caught a top wick. It doesn't get much better than that. But I should have left a runner, because as you can see here, price just, let's hop into the 15. Down, 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 down. I think London and starts to give retracement. Like it just kept going. We literally caught the top move of the whole day. The top move to the wick. I think I saw maybe $4 of drawdown. $4 of drawdown, a few pips of drawdown before instantly reversing. And I think that that was honestly from the FTMO spreads being so bad. I think that is why I saw any drawdown at all, because, Forex spreads, they're not the greatest. But regardless, London comes up a bit, as you can see. Then New York opens, sweeps it, back down. Like, from our entry, we call it the whole move of the day, 100 pips. Tell me who else you know that you're seeing who consistently, it goes further. It goes further and further the whole day. Like, tell me who else you watch, whatever, if they're 124 pips. Who else you watch who's catching top wicks like that and catching daily moves? Obviously, the daily move, you could say it was a bit of luck, but as soon as I pulled out of the position, I was looking at UJ on the higher time frames. Look at this zone we're trading in. I looked at the 4 hour and I was like, fuck, I should have maybe held, left a runner on. I was at break even anyways. Secured 4%, I could have secured 3% and left that 1% runner, because that would have secured me, even from exit, another 100 pips. But regardless, my strategy, the model, whatever you want to call it, continues to prove itself. Day in, day out, or trade in, trade out. I shouldn't say day in, I'm not trading every day. But regardless, when I do trade, this is what it shows. So yeah, this is the full recap. If you want me to explain anything more, obviously leave a comment, but this was a really clean trade we caught this week.